Why is my hair so shiny?
I'm a single father again. I'm just thinking of the decisions I made in a Pontiac Trans Am. And then I go down a Circle K and a hang-a-ding-ding, breakfast club sandwich for dinner again, and I dang-a-ding-ding, hanging on down to the Mohegan Sun and with the big tits. Is anybody watching this?
I mean, people are showing up on my the
I'm the loser at the roulette wheel, and I win some, lose some. My kids are in jail, and if I'll see them next week. Seriously, did I not pop out the chat? Pop out chat? Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Ding ding ding. I was young. How a super chat should go number 98. Welcome to. We didn't even hold for sound yet, and we'll do that eventually. But Nick does his dance, and it's about a guy who is a really bad father. He neglects his kids, and he throws up on them, and then he crashes through the wall of the daycare center. He has a C10, but it has a straight 6, and he can't afford a V8, but he tries to fool people. His name's Jerry, but he wants to be called Steve, and he hasn't really explained that he has problems. He used to pop his zits with a needle nose pliers, and that's why he has catastrophic pot marks.
Tremendous.
He looks like Josh Brolin from Old Country Known Man, just a little bit more haggard and 3 times as dumb. And okay, so I guess we're gonna hold for sound.
All right. Welcome everyone to RCR podcast number 98. I don't know what the name of this is.
This is called Hiker Shuttle because I agreed to pick up some through hikers today, as is my way now in the summertime. So I may have to duck out early for this. So Nick will have to close up this podcast.
Yep.
Really, I told like 4:30, and I told the other 4, which means like at 3:30 I have to leave. So honestly, if we only go on an hour and a half and we just end it like, hey, it's 3:30, I have to leave.
Yeah.
And we may just end it then. So I'm having this weird thing where I on this computer, I can't see the regular chat. It's just not here.
Oh, wait.
But if I go to
do the little top down thing. There it goes.
Okay.
Hey.
I just didn't throw up. No. What did you do differently? How did it work when you did it? And I can't do it. I keep my phone turned off in the sock drawer. Because that's my dad. He's got a cell phone, but he keeps it turned off. That way no one can call me.
Yep.
Okay, Dad.
So basically, I've gotten into, this has nothing to do with anything, I swear, but I'll keep it brief. I've gotten into doing escape rooms because there is a very cinematic quality to doing them. It feels like you're in a movie of some sort. Maybe not like an Indiana Jones movie, but at least that one movie with Sean Connery and Catherine Zeta-Jones, like that type of deal where, you know, it's
playing both sides.
Yeah. Both sides.
Both sides.
I don't know. I can't do Sean.
British intelligence.
Yeah. Yeah. It's and I think part of it is that like I got to do one with my brother and his fiance and a very special person with me. And so like the four of us, we were kind of trapped in this like vampire escape room, and
Mm-hmm.
part of it was trying to it was very much like a Legends of the Hidden Temple type of thing where you're figuring out like, oh, okay, well we have to hit these things in this order to make this key drop, and then
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden you're putting chalices in different holes, and which sounds dirty but I promise it's not. And there are like horror elements to it, but also, I mean, these are not things that I feel come naturally to me, and so I'm discovering that maybe I'm not so bad at games as I thought I was, because after a certain point in age, you feel like, your ability to understand the way games are played diminishes
Mm-hmm.
considerably. Like it's the difference between going and doing something more adult, like an escape room, or going and playing at the arcade with my nephew, which
Mm-hmm.
I do a lot. And I am not good at arcade games either. So it's in this strange way, I found this thing that makes me feel like I'm in a movie without actually having any of the, you know, sort of danger that's associated with those situations.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very exciting. And I'm waiting for someone to create like a car themed escape room of just like, someone locked you inside a haunted car museum or something, or
Mm.
you're trapped in a garage with a murderous car and you got to figure your way out, kind of
Mm.
like, what was it, Christine, the Stephen King thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I've never actually seen or read.
Oh, imagine that. An escape room, but it's not a room, it's an escape field. Like there's a car here and like a shed, and your goal is you got to get out of here. Be like it
Yeah.
would be like Mad Max thing. Of course, you need like property to do that.
Yeah.
Just like you got to get in this car to escape.
Well, I mean, there is one that is kind of like a vague Mad Max theme, but I don't know how much. It's like biker themed,
Okay.
which I kind of want to give that a try just for giggles.
Mhm.
There's also like an alien one,
Mhm.
which I'm kind of into. I don't know. I'm into a lot of things. I've only done like 2 escape rooms. I made it out of my team has made it out of both of them with like 2 minutes left out of
Mhm.
the hour. And what's funny is like we were following a group that had previously failed, like just failed. They were like,
Mm.
we didn't really get it. And so I'm like, oh man, so we're gonna be screwed then, because it's like me who's only done this for the second time, uh and like 2 other people who've only done this, who've never done this,
Mhm.
and we were lucky enough to get out. So I don't know. Yeah, escape room, but you're in a Ford Transit van. Yeah, that's but yeah. Um, so let's see.
I told Nick this at lunch, but I had a straight dream the other night. You can't see that was me rolling my eyes on on audio, but it was about Chun Li, but it wasn't about Chun Li. It was about a bodybuilder cosplayer cosplaying as Chun Li,
Mm,
and like it was still a gay dream because all I wanted to do was feel her muscles, but I guess
I mean,
she
is
doesn't have a dick, so it's not like dear men's health.
yeah,
Is feeling a female bodybuilder's muscles gay?
yeah. I mean, it's kind of, and because this isn't the first one that you've
No,
told me
it was
about,
yeah, it
but
was 2 for 2. Yeah.
they've all been happening on this month of all months,
Right?
which is, I don't know if it means anything. It's like
Mm,
the whole thing about what do dreams really mean.
right.
But yeah, it's something where, I mean, I don't know. I can't begin
Mm.
to understand, but hey, it's all about support. And I support all of your dreams.
Blowjob truck stop.
That's
Super chats.
a
So
great transition too.
Italian something 698 says nice intro. Yeah, I should do this intro again. And Ryan Vance is the guy sucked stuff. I had it sold him. I just gotta go now. The barbaric acid. What is the most inexcusable car you've ever driven? Inexcusable.
What, like the Festiva type thing?
Like, yeah. I hate the Nissan Rogue on a conceptual level. Okay, so I guess it means like a newer car. Like, this is dumb. Mercury Mariner was pretty bad.
Yeah, that one. You only did the point of view of that one Brat.
Oh,
Subaru Brat.
Yeah, that was like, it was road legal, but it was in Florida, so like special kind of dangerous.
Yeah.
There was more recently, there was a 99 Oldsmobile Bravada. That was insultingly bad.
What about the one we just wrote today?
See, that one comes, I mean, as a vehicle, it's terrible. It's horribly unsafe. It's old. You're gonna die. It can't cool it can't cool itself or heat itself, much less the people inside. This is barely a car now.
Yeah.
It's very unsafe, hard to drive, hard to stop, hard to steer. But as a rolling piece of independence, it's cool.
Yeah.
I enjoyed driving it. We don't want to give too much away, but I think we did a 3 on the tree before, but this was the more recent 3 on a tree that we did, which, doesn't really narrow it down.
No.
I mean, it's older, but that'd be an interesting question. What was the last column manual shift ever made? Justin Kramer has a C10 truck that's a 3 on the tree. And I think that's like 78 or something like that. I don't know. So yeah, good question. Chris Stockslager again. Hello. What's the creepy looking abandoned mall place where you guys film so much? It's not an abandoned mall, and I don't want to blow up the spot.
Yeah.
Most of the malls around, like, it would have been pretty cool if we could use the Schuylkill Mall. We're better than ever. We're beaver than ever for you up there. But they demolished that, and I think just some like warehouses going there. The Fairlane Village Mall is getting pretty damn bad. Like, its parking lot is horrific. But there's still a Lowe's up there, and there's a Michael's, and they do business, and there's, I think, a Kohl's, and I don't know how Kohl's is nice. Like, I've never bought anything at Kohl's, but they have an Amazon drop-off spot.
They do. Yeah, that's the main reason to go to Kohl's.
Yeah.
Because you can return your Amazon stuff there.
Yeah.
If you don't, for whatever reason, like I had to do it with the hats, because like it's so hard to find a hat that fits, and this hat is falling apart. And plus, I like these Army Patrol caps. Like, in specific, I don't like any other type of hat. Every other type of hat, I feel like I look weird in. I mean, I feel like I'm weird, bareheaded, but whatever. Wait a minute.
Yeah, if you're gonna take one, I'm gonna go. We had like a market square thing here the other week, and it was like, buy those vendors, and half of it was just people selling trinkets. But there was a guy from West Reading. There was a meadery that opened.
Yeah, there's a meadery in West Reading. Yeah,
and I bought a bottle, and I'm gonna pour some myself. Do you want some mead?
Oh no, I'm all right, thanks. Midnight snack. Which do you hate more, the Bravada or the Mariner? For me, I'm going to say the Mariner, just because it was very uncomfortable and kind of like, I don't know, in the moment, I didn't really have that many problems with it. It was kind of like an after the fact thing where I realized like, I didn't really enjoy that much. And I know that was probably for Brian. So I can't really answer on his behalf. These are some questions from the normal chat, because I like to be able to get to some regular chat questions and not just the super chat, so that you don't have to feel compelled to pay us to ask a question, which is counterintuitive to good business, but whatever. Let's see. Why does the Rogue sell so well? I don't know. I've always been under the assumption that it had a fairly decent reputation in terms of reliability. But I also think it's also emblematic of that soft unthreatening sort of styling that pervades in the, 21st century, this sense that like curvy is in. And it's just, I don't know. I just remember going to the New York Auto Show the one year that like Star Wars Rogue One came out, and they had like this X-Wing modeled Nissan Rogue with a giant Death Star over top of it. And I keep thinking like this is the market of what they're going for. They're going for people who, it's like, oh, I recognize that thing. It's a thing from a thing I've seen before.
It has a wrap on it.
Yeah. And it's very much like the very non-threatening, easy to access, easily accessible to everybody type of vehicle. So that, I don't know. Roman, what do you think of the recent WWE layoffs? Is sad stuff. It only makes sense if they're thinking of selling the company, because I don't know why you would get rid of that many people. Well, okay. This is different from the days where they did their usual spring cleaning and would get rid of like 12 people, in one big dump every year or more. But they're getting rid of people that they're actually using or were actually using, rather than just like cutting people that they weren't doing anything with. So I don't really know. It's weird. But yeah. Roman, just letting you know that the Christmas song you released last Christmas was probably the best Christmas song that's come out in the last 5 years. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It's available wherever you get music, whether it's like Amazon, Spotify, iTunes, Bandcamp, wherever. Like, I don't care where you get it from. There are some people who want to like go and get it wherever it pays me the most money. I'm making basically no money from music whatsoever. It's whichever is most convenient for you. I really appreciate. Although it is nice to like show up on the Amazon charts like sometimes. Like the comedy album chart. I think I had like the number 25 comedy album when the RCR soundtrack first came out. So that was like fun to be above Bill Burr for like an hour, because the bestseller list is updated hourly. So like I get to be up there for like 1 hour before everything corrects. And it's back to like, okay, well, but yeah, it's thank you so much for the kind words. And so back to super chats. Oh, wait. First, Quaaludes asks, ever heard of the VW UP GTI? I have one that you can drive if you ever come to the UK again. I mean, I would love to go to the UK again. It's just a matter of
eventually.
Yeah. There was some person online who said that like their $900 like round trip ticket randomly got bumped up to like 9,000 or something because of like some weird I don't know. It was probably online bull pucky. So I don't know.
I don't know. What are we at?
Oh,
AKEYS 74. Here's to the intro song.
Oh yeah, that's where we are.
Thank you.
Oh, what's the
DKK? No idea.
Yeah, I have no idea what kind of currency that is. Somebody in the chat, help us out.
Brandon Bauer. Hello, Brandon. Hey. I took your advice and bought a Miata and Corolla. Excellent. I couldn't be happier with these choices. What van do you think fits best for a van life conversion? I know very little about van life. See, to me, van life doesn't really revolve around the vehicle. It revolves around you parking in sketchy parking lots and hanging out with other people who are just living their best life.
Yep.
Ugh.
I mean,
like van life is like camping without a destination. Oh, we're just out here doing things on the cheap. I would rather camp with a tent and hike for a long time than live out of a van in like a back lot somewhere. Or you're the one creepy guy at the campsite who's not in a tent.
Well, it depends on your age and appearance, how creepy you end up being. Because, okay, either you're the creepy van guy in the lot, or you are the elderly couple on Unsolved Mysteries that gets murdered because he stopped in a parking lot. And then, people decide, hey, we're going to rob these people who are living in their van or their RV. And then, they shoot the wife, and then the husband has to roll underneath the RV and pretend he's dead and wait for them to go away. This was an actual case. I don't remember if they solved it, and it's going to drive me nuts, but I'm sure I'll think of it.
Here's the thing. no vehicle bed will be as good as a crappy motel. Unless you're talking, but what about like a camper van?
Yeah.
Well, now we're talking about $120,000 bus.
Yeah.
Fine. See, the thing is, like, I judge like these whole van life things by how good of a night's sleep are you really gonna get.
Yeah.
If you're one of these people who isn't going to think about who's gonna come up to the van and start fucking with me,
Yeah.
then like I remember, I don't know if it was on this, if we talked about this last podcast when I did host 2 hikers here.
Yeah.
And they were up for a long time. And I was kind of worried about them because I'm like, I just invited 2 strangers into my home. And they're just kind of moving all around the whole house and ruffling through their bags and washing and talking about people. And they all have these hiker names are just like furry names. They're just, you just make up something. Actually, hiker names are better than furry names because everybody just makes up their furry name and they try to make themselves sound cool. But most hiker names are degrading because you did something stupid on the trail and then people assign a hiker name to you.
Oh.
Usually, like, I don't know, you shit in your sleeping bag, or you fell, or you knocked over like a bee's nest. You do something heroically dumb, and then that's your hiker name. And you always know people who make up their own hiker name is if they sound like a D&D character. I'm Tree Hugger. Like, I don't know why I went to that. I'm Far Walk. I'm like, great, you're walking on the trail. Anyway, what's this guy I'm picking up today? What's his trail name? Did he give it to himself?
They're like Battlestar Galactica call signs.
Oh,
it's like,
yeah.
I'm Athena.
Oh, fuck you. Fuck you, Athena. Tree Man.
Tree Man? What is he? Deleted like Mega Man boss?
I'm 60 years old. And a lot of these, like, I noticed something with older hikers that they don't call ahead to hotels to confirm that, yes, they have a room available. Well, it said on Expedia that there's rooms available. It's like, that's not the hotel website.
No, it's not.
No.
How many times have I booked a hotel and like I go to the website or to the Expedia or like the travel or whatever website I'm using, and then that just takes me to a different page where it's like, oh, there's actually no rooms at all whatsoever. But here's the number for the hotel, if you want it.
Yeah, they're all going to the Motel 6 in Charlottesville off of Interstate 78 because the construction crews there in Hamburg have like totally booked the microtel because we got like out-of-state workers working. I think it's like some joint state federal project. Yeah. Anyway, so they all got to go out to Charlottesville, and this little motel by the highway out there, like, it's a Motel 6, but it wasn't always a Motel 6. It was just some mom and pop place for a while.
Yeah.
So there's no like, they don't keep up with the website. So you have to call and talk to a person that says, do you have a room available? I mean, anyway, and I gave this other hiker a ride. He claimed he has I never check out. I just leave.
Well, I mean, a lot of places, they don't really require you to check out in the traditional sense. You just give them back your room keys and go.
He just says, I just leave.
Oh, well,
I'm like, but I thought it was a common courtesy. I am leaving. The room is now, you're really doing a favor to the next person, saying that, yes, now they can get a jump start on cleaning that room for the next person who's coming by.
Yeah.
Other than you have to confirm that they left, and then you go, housekeeping, and they're going to knock for forever. So you're really screwing the next person.
Yeah.
Oh, they know.
Yeah.
No, they don't know.
They know when you're supposed to be out of there by, but they don't know if you left early.
Anyway. So yeah, I took your everything's based van life. I don't know. Van life is a nice hotel. That's my answer. A van life is a Hampton Inn and a nice free breakfast and a clean bed and a warm shower. That's my van life.
All right. While you reload, I have a question from Starlight Alchemist. Howdy, Brian and Roman. In the Pacer review, Roman said it was the official car
That's
of
a
self.
furry name. Starlight Alchemist.
Official car of the Pacer was the official car of self-actualization. Is there an official car for every tier of Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Which I would have to think about that. That almost feels like something that could go in a review to like actually talk about like individual aspects of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, where I mean, I can't think of all of them at the moment. I would have to look it up. But sorry, I wish I could answer that question in a way that is more efficient than not answering it at all. But hopefully in a future review at some point, I can address this.
Yeah, Maslow. Okay. Basic transportation versus something that makes you feel good, which is something that makes you emotionally good, which is something that is spiritually fulfilling.
Let's see.
I know where it ends. It ends with a freaking BMW 7 Series. That's where it ends.
Yeah, it's basic need or psychological needs, safety needs, then belonging and love needs, esteem needs, and then self-actualization is at the top, which is self-fulfillment. And yeah, I mean that sounds more or less right.
It starts with well, depending where you are, it's like, what's $1,000 car? It starts with it starts with a Chrysler 200 and ends with a BMW 7 Series. And then in between is, I guess, where the fun goes.
Yeah.
Storage space running. KA. Hey guys, longtime fan. I just found out I got into Kutztown last night. Hey, congratulations. Go Bears. Do you have any advice for incoming freshmen? I'm a geology major. Well, you're science, so you picked a better major than I did. All right. Leave your car at home. You're not really going to need it in Kutztown. You can walk everywhere. Unless you're commuting, and then, of course, you got your car. See, college now, war has changed. College has changed. So, and we're liberal arts and you're science. So, geology, what do you do with a geology major? Well, I guess you can go out. See, it shows how much I know about what you do with geology. Yep, that advice only applies to liberal arts majors. You do more stuff than just go to class. Get involved with clubs.
He said, oh, sorry. He says he's planning on becoming a paleontologist.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool. That's pretty freaking cool.
So get involved with more clubs that introduce you to people outside of your major and also outside of your comfort zone. You will find that you will have time in the day that you never knew you had. Don't spend it just watching videos in your dorm room. Get a job, maybe. Something to do on the weekends. All of my advice revolves around like not class. Of course, again, like liberal arts majors, like so much of my heartache in college revolved around my stupid gen eds, which were science that I hated.
Yeah.
Because I had no interest in it. Like I thought we were done with this in high school. So there was something that sucked so much about college that all of my mental effort went into the classes I hated because I just had to pass them.
Yeah.
Like historical geology, math, foreign language, gym. I had to take a phys ed class. Now, of course, that's part of the whole machine of college, padding out the major so it actually lasts 4 years, when in reality, the sum total of the regular, like the core classes, really only amount to 2 years. But I guess if you're going to be in like a line of work where you need a degree, you have to take all that stuff. Yeah, my biggest advice is join clubs, do other things, and realize that you are capable of understanding a whole lot more than what you currently know.
That's
Good
very
question.
Very good advice too.
Zach Heilman. When are you at Oshkosh and can I come say hello? Yeah, you can say hello. I think we're there like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I go home Sunday. I think it's just Friday, and I think we roll up there Thursday, so we have Friday, Saturday, and then we're out of there early morning Sunday. So I'm really at Oshkosh for 2 days. So I'm be there with Tony Airlines. We're Tony Airlines and Greg International, and I'm going to be out of my element. I'm going to rely on both of them to tell me, what does this plane do? How matters. So that'll be a thing. Yeah, you can say hello. I'll try to wear some RCR merch so I stand out apart from everybody else who's also wearing sun hats and polo shirts and like Vibram Merrills, which I now wear. So yeah, I'll be there at Oshkosh. Ambient Whooshing says the housing market sucks. Yeah, and screw anybody who can afford full cash offers. Well, that sounds like sour grapes to me. There are people out there who can pay full price for a house. Not any house I would want right now, because my house, I at least need I need at least a 3-car garage.
Yeah.
But my dream house doesn't really exist. We've been over this. My dream house is a rancher with a gigantic pole barn in the back.
I mean, it's like everybody kind of has like the dream of home ownership, but there's not really like the expectation of it. It's like, let's all go in on a house to get, and it's like, well,
yeah,
that type of vibe. And it's just like, at a certain point, you think about like all the different responsibilities that go with owning a home, different ordinances and all these other things. And I realized
property
that
taxes. Yeah, when stuff breaks around here, I'm like,
yeah,
man, I'd be pissed if I owned this place.
Yeah.
It's like the basement flooded when we got that 5 inches of rain the other time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, wow, there's water in the like all the carpets that are in the basement. Some of them are still wet. Yeah. And I'm just running the dehumidifier down here, and I'm like, man, I'd be pissed if I owned this.
Yeah.
Knowing that after every big rain, the basement would flood. This sucks. I'm glad I don't own this house.
Yeah. I mean, I would have to, for like a house like this, I would have to be at a point where I could just like justify all the things that could possibly go wrong with it.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah. Buying oil heat. That's a thing. Now, the houses in Brenning, are they all gas? Or are they electric heat?
Some are electric. Wait, no. Well, I don't know, because Reading doesn't really have houses. It just has like apartments. So, I mean, I'm gas.
Okay.
So that's fun. Oh, wait, no. I'm not the right person to answer this question.
Okay. Very legal, very cool. Wouldn't be a podcast without you. Says, looking forward to when you guys come up to Washington and explore Mount Rainier. Way cooler than St. Helens. Yeah, but I want to film in the background of St. Helens. And North Cascades National Park. Are you still wanting to go to Vancouver, British Columbia? Yes. I don't know when. I don't know how. Like, I messaged Frederick Knutson from Down the Rabbit Hole like a bunch of weeks ago, and I'm like, can we come out and visit again? Can we go do RCR Portland? I don't even care if your parents don't let me borrow your Celica. I mean, you just want to go out here and have fun. YouTube, you know what it's like. Hey, you're hot. And then he said, I don't know. He said something to the fact of, I think I have jury duty this summer, which is like, wait, what? All summer?
All summer. Wow.
Wow. Yeah. So I don't know. I guess eventually we'll be out in the Pacific Northwest at some point.
Yeah.
But I don't know when.
Yes.
Like, I have no plans to travel outside of Oshkosh which is at the end of next month. And then in the first 2 weeks of July, we have the press cars. You have your wedding to go, or you have your brother's wedding to go
Yeah,
to.
which I still have to write the speech for, which is I really need to get started. Well, I mean, I still have a month to go, but it's something where I should probably start formulating ideas of what to
Mhm.
say. It's just hard to encapsulate feelings into a brief narrative that doesn't sound sort of too rehearsed in that Webster's dictionary
Dictionary defines
defines
graduation
yeah.
as.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm giving you the graduation speech.
Oh, that's right.
Ladies
yeah.
and gentlemen, to the class of 2021.
Yes.
Boy, wrong speech. Clealk, clealk, clealk.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, and I've given speeches at weddings before, but it's different when it's your brother.
True. Wagon Waifu says, Buff woman, let's go. Yes, I wholeheartedly agree. Will Downs says, I drove my friend's 2017 Subaru Crosstrek again last week. It was a lot of fun. Very quick car. No. It's a heavier I'll be the judge of if a Subaru Crosstrek is fun and fat and quick. Because I thought it was just a heavier Impreza.
I mean,
Like, it is what the Forester was, and the Forester now is like a mom mobile.
nice.
Yeah, I don't thank you for the donation. I disagree with everything you've said. Grayscale Griff saying, more a comment, I guess. All right. Recently purchased a 2009 350Z. All right. Been real happy with it. Yeah, it's a fun car. Also, tell the birds hi for me. Like the Eagles? The Dirty Birds?
Maybe the other birds
The Penguins?
on Twitter. Birds. Like Jay the Griffin?
Oh, okay. Yes. Hello, birds. Thank you.
But also
Arky's
go
74. I'm sorry.
No, but also go birds.
Also,
Go,
Arky's 74. Again with the strange nomination. Oh, it's for you.
oh, where? Oh, Roman, it was me who made the job of the butt photo for you on Twitter. That's terrific. Because I posted this photo. It's not even mine. It's something a reaction image thing I found online of like this pair of pants where the back pockets form suspicious looking eyes.
Oh, yeah.
And then this user added like the bottom half is Jabba the Hutt's mouth, and it works perfectly. It's surprisingly like I don't know. That was terrific. So thank you for that. I got a good chuckle out of it.
Difference to Dusk says, thoughts on European and Japanese manufacturers teaming up to do electric motorcycles with the same swappable battery. I don't know anything about this, but I'm all about hot swappable batteries on electric vehicles, especially motorcycles. Good deal. I think that should be a good thing. Infrastructure is another question, but I do like the idea of having a short range motorcycle with an extra battery pack back at the house so you can ride around and then come back and swap out in a new battery. Of course, that's going to be one hell of a heavy battery. I mean, think how heavy a car battery is.
Yeah.
And even the weight of the battery in my electric lawnmower. And now you got a whole bunch of those things.
Yeah.
But still, it's a solution to the small range. And I like where their thinking is at. So yeah, good question. Faller says, are these Pennsylvania specific or NE-isms? Okay. Are these isms? The pronunciation of cubbyhole. Put your lunchbox in the cubbyhole. Cubbyhole. Yeah.
I always said cubbyhole.
Cubbyhole. Yeah, I said cubby. The pronunciation of. Do you want to play Mario Brothers?
Yeah, I say Mario.
Mario.
Is it supposed to be Mario?
I think it's supposed to be Mario.
No, I've always said Mario. Mario and Luigi.
Mario. Yeah. Calling Asphalt macadam. See, that's this and that.
Ah,
I've heard the same people call it either both macadam and asphalt.
I called. I've said. Yeah, no, I say asphalt. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's like an old an old wives thing. Like asphalt has the word ass in it, so maybe like everybody's grandma didn't want to say ass, so
Hmm.
they called it macadam.
Well, baby, that ass ain't your fault.
Link 87, generous donation. Thank you. Hey boys, thanks for being my go-to drive podcast. What should I do with a Mopar 383? Just the engine? I have two of them that need some work. I'm going to build one of them for sure, swap it into a Paseo. Yeah, sure. I don't know, sell it, Facebook Marketplace. See, it's an older engine. Is it a Hemi? No.
Well, I mean, what kind of condition are we talking about here?
Right. Is it ready to go into something? They need some work, which means it needs all the work.
Yeah.
So it's a big hunk of lump. Let me put it this way. Are these engines on engine stands right now? Or are they sitting on a tire? Or are they in the body of some old Doge that isn't moving?
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. What are they worth in scrap? $50?
He said, no, God, no. They sat in the field for 20 years.
Oh, God.
Because people tend to
They're scrap then.
Because the thing is that like, and
but you can rebuild it. Yeah, you can for almost the same. Okay, it's
currently on
sat
a
in
stand.
the field, which means all the water channels are just filled with schlock. So now you get to boil the whole block apart. Well, like if that's your deal, if you want to bust apart one of these ancient dinosaur engines that never really made a whole lot of power to begin with, that people always toss them, 4LSs anyway, if you want to really spend your time, just this hunk of Dodge, then fine, do it. You're going to spend more money than you would buying some like Blue Point Chevy 350. God.
I mean, now they say it's they're currently on a stand.
Are they magically on a stand now?
Well, it's well, you said that before you launched into the thing. I didn't see it, but I think part of it is that like when there's a tendency to when someone says they need some work, that people tend to extrapolate that it needs all the work. If you say some work, it extrapolates the worst case scenario.
Is the engine free? Can you put a crank? Can you put a socket on the engine, on the end of the crank, like on a breaker bar, and will it go like this? Lolly, 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 lolly. Will it turn? Okay, we're getting somewhere. Yeah. Maybe it'll run.
Otherwise, it's giving me a raging hard off.
Yeah. Then you get to worry about what's floating around in the engine. Does anything grow? What is your compression?
Cylinder 8 was rusted to the cylinder wall.
Great. All right. So the heads are coming off. If you want to have a delightful, fun thing to mess around with on a stand in your garage, and you're not really thinking about money, I'm just going to take this apart and I'm going to learn. If you're thinking about it as a learning experience without the actual goal of this going into something, you want to get this engine apart, put it back together. I don't know, maybe you know somebody with an engine dyno and you can say, hey, I built this engine for fun. It's free. It runs. Here's a video of it running on an engine stand. My price is this. And then price it $100 lower than everybody else who's selling a running 383. Then fine. That's like makes financial sense to me. Or just going into it. The thing about that I learned about rebuilding old engines is that you quickly throw good money after bad. And then you realize that if you need a power source for a vehicle, you realize that you could have spent $250 on an LS that has like 300,000 miles on it, and it's perfectly fine. Versus how many thousands of dollars you'll spend rebuilding a Doge weight, a boat anchor.
Yeah. I'm checking.
We may have to get the sign at least at like 3 o'clock, because at 3:30 I have to leave.
Yeah.
So Boris T.S. Karloff just showing up. I'm late. Take my money.
Very nice.
Thank you. We will spend it maturely. I think that's it, really.
I'm just looking at stories online of just relative random car related stuff. Like for instance, like the Tesla Model S Plaid apparently goes from 0 to 60 in 1.98 seconds according to its first test.
What, with like drag slicks on it?
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh, on a prepped drag surface and 10 plus minutes of conditioning, but still insanely quick otherwise.
All right. So yeah, you gotta, but still, yes, that's heroically fast.
Yeah.
But you have to get the guy out there with the blowtorch, heating the pad. You got to have your tires already warmed up.
Now, here's the thing. Jeep is introducing a Gorilla Glass windshield option for the Wrangler and Gladiator for $95, and they expect 80% of their buyers will choose it, but is that a realistic assumption? Like, to what end? I don't know what kind of metrics they're using to be able to justify thinking that 80% of their user base is going to go all in on Gorilla Glass. You know what I mean?
Like, what are they claiming the glass does again?
1 second.
Will it stop a 22?
I mean, should
Will
be.
it stop a BB? Well, I think your regular safety glass can stop a pellet.
Yeah. I mean,
can it stop a? Yeah, they can stop. Will it stop a Ninja Rock?
Yeah.
Will it stop a broken piece of spark plug?
Yeah.
That's the test. Broken piece of spark plug and one of those slingshots you buy at the flea market.
It's
Phil McWonder says, "Hey guys, love to see you guys again. Have beer money." Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Again, STR Red Wolf. Hello. I'm sorry I'm interrupting. It's just I didn't feel like going back to the other tab. Hey, Regular and Roman, what would you recommend for a guy in his 40s? Well, that's me next month, who just got his license and needs a car to get around. Okay, so you're entering the game at a later date. And you just got a license, so you need to build skill. Normally we go Toyota Corolla every single time, but if you're learning skill, you're going to need a little bit more visibility. So my advice to you would be an early 2000s Toyota RAV4. I'd stay with Toyota, but I want you up higher a little bit, and I want you to have some more sidewall, a little bit taller tires. So inevitably you're going to hit a curb or two, but if you're in that type of SUV, you're not going to have too many problems. Pretty much anything, like just buy a used RAV4 from like the 2000s. That's fine. You can probably pick one up for like $2 or $3 grand, maybe $4 or $5 if you're feeling fancy and buy a nice one. So yeah, Toyota RAV4. Good question. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm looking at the regular chat, checking for questions. Let's see. VWUP. Nope. Already. Apparently the Star Wars Rogue One Nissan Rogue was an actual model you could buy, and there's one in the neighborhood of Joe from Auto Moments.
Huh.
So that's bizarre because I literally didn't know that. Aaron Crutchfield says Rogue sells well because it's in the right market segment and has aggressive pricing and financing.
That's true. That's what that's Nissan's best thing is aggressive pricing. And it's a weird thing that their tumbling resale value honestly works pretty well for in the used market. Although so far the only Nissans I care about is the original hard body pickup truck. Of course, the all S13s, and recently the Leaf. My super hat didn't show up. Okay.
Oh, your super chat?
Oh, your super chat didn't show up.
What was the question?
Yeah, Chrono Tango. Just type your regular super chat. We'll read it in the regular chat. Sorry about that.
Top 3 favorite strong bad emails. I think we get this question.
Mini golf, like that's the first one. The one where they talk about mini golf. Sweet putt and cakes. That's number 1. Number 2 is techno, and No, not no. The one where Super Chat is Strong Bad gets his like whisper quiet disco boots. I think that's number 2 for me, and the number 3. I'll think of it.
Any comments on the new Down the Rabbit Hole video?
I'm still listening to it. I like it a lot. I
So
think
do
it's
I.
his first time doing military things. I'd love to hear Jocko Willink's comment on it. That'd be so cool if Jocko would listen to that, because it sounds like really bad. Yeah, it's no decentralized command. It's everybody playing follow the leader, and then like no support for people who have to call an audible. Any plans on doing a 5th gen Prelude? Yeah, we just have to find a clean one and one nearby.
Yeah.
Paul Sibbert says, "Hey guys, thanks for getting me into motorcycles. I just got a Kawasaki Z125 over the winter and love it. Excellent. Great starter bike. Have fun with that." Okay, Chrono Tango says, pretty basic question. Thoughts on the Mazda Speed as a trim? What, you mean just like as a name? It's just their performance. I mean, I think it's kind of silly, but again, it gets the point across. I think it's a little bit, candy, a little bit toyish, because Nikon had this problem when I used to sell cameras in a mall. Like all men seemed, well, most men only would buy Canon, because Canon's cameras were like the point and shoots. This is back before phone cameras were, there was a few, but they were all like 640 by 480 resolution.
Yeah.
So you still had your point and shoot camera. And all men would buy Canons because their line of cheap point and shoots were called power shots.
Oh, I remember power
shots.
Oh man.
But Nikon was called Cool Pics. And the Nikons were better than the Canon ones at the low end. But you couldn't sell a Nikon. Like really, weak fat men who had issues with their masculinity would not want a camera that said Cool Pics on it. They wanted power shots. So Mazda Speed is a little bit toyish. It's not like Type R or something like that. Something nice and vague.
Yeah.
Is there a Speed 3 review in the works? I paid 4 instead of 5. Didn't realize it would come through. So
Mazda Speed.
So a Mazda Speed 3 is a Fiesta ST. And then the people are saying, no, there's a difference in the gene, and oh my gosh, I had so many differences in these irresponsibly small ways. So if we do a Mazda Speed 3, that's going to be half the review. It's not a Fiesta. I'm the more authentic version of the Fiesta, because the Fiesta is really a Mazda 3, and I'm the Mazda Speed 3. So everything says Mazda should be Mazda. And I'm the one, Daddy likes me better.
You listen, you little shit. I will literally turn this car around.
I have no emotion except agitation. Filmic Wonder says, what are your guys' thoughts on the crazy nuclear cars of the future from the 50s and 60s? I mean, were any of them were they all just concepts, or were they all just drawings? I figure if they existed, Jay Leno would have one of them. Do you guys think that with modern technology, nuclear? No.
Coswell happened. No. It's kind of.
What are we talking about? Eventually, cold fusion works, and we have these little reactors. Of course, I think at that point, if cold fusion ever works, we just drive electric cars, and then there'd be like a cold fusion generating station where you just back up again.
In the 50s and 60s, they thought like we would have flying cars and the cure for cancer, and lifelike human facsimile robots that we could use exclusively for sex.
Yeah.
And we have none of those things. The closest we've come is real dolls.
Yeah.
And that's about as close as we're ever going to get, because I guarantee you in 2050 or 2060, we're still not going to have this electric car thing figured out, because people are going to be inherently resistant to change the way that people always are.
Yeah.
Change is the enemy of the status quo, because we want to sit in our own bathwater because it is our own brand. And who are we not to enjoy our own brand? And who are others not to enjoy our brand? For it is a nourishing and wholesome goodness.
My brand was totally evil this morning because I had an onion for the first time in a while. I threw an onion in with my ground beef last night, and then my farts became Mediterranean, and I could smell them in my dreams.
Oh, jeez. That's like
It
through
was
several.
pretty bad.
Yeah.
When I did a hiker shuttle run this morning, and I came back and I must have sat on the toilet for 45 minutes. I just need to fart and poop out all of this smell.
Yeah.
That's a weird thing. Like, because I eat pretty much the same thing every day, but I'm getting all my nourishment and I take my multivitamins and stuff like that. So I guess my gut biome is like a single track, is like a slot car. And the second I eat something outside of that, it just goes flying across the living room and takes a shit.
Yeah. It goes from a slot car into one of those Hot Wheels racetrack shits with the loop-de-loops that just launch the thing into midair and hope it lands back on the track again.
They never do.
They never do. They never do.
James F says, no question this time. Have a great weekend. Thank you, James.
Starlight Alchemist, real quick. Another question, if you guys see it. In an area of Canada where Miatas and Subis are plentiful, I want to get something a bit unique but still cheap and fun. Good suggestions for a cheap, sporty daily.
That's not a Miata.
That's not a Miata.
Toyota Corolla XRS or Matrix XRS. The problem with the 2ZZ engine is that the power band is so narrow by the time you shift, you're out of it. And you get back into it again. The only thing that engine is really good for is yo-yoing in and out of the power band. It's like jerking off, but just touching the head. Other fun cars that aren't a Miata. The BMW E30. Another rear. That's like a Miata, but hard top, and you kind of has back seats. And yeah, BMW E30. Go Euro. There you go. That's my answer. Brian, says Bob, as a socially awkward guy, how do you handle the attention you get from driving the Falcon? I don't have the Falcon anymore. Okay, the Falcon, Pow, and Sarah. Was it nice or it's nice because the car does the car breaks the ice for me. The thing that sucks about it is you kind of just have the same conversations over and over again. But the POW was the greatest. The POW was amazing. If it wasn't so underpowered, I might have kept it. But yeah, it's great. POW's amazing as long as you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Andy says, but it's a carbureted car, so it smells. Why they couldn't give that the turbo fuel injected one they got in the Figaro, I don't know. Andy says, last I bought a modded 2012 Mark VI Golf R that belonged to some kid before me. I took it back to stock aside from the stage 1 tune. Prices on ours are crazy right now. Do you think prices will keep going up? I think prices of all cars now are very high. There will be a market correction at some point. Not sure when that's going to be. Right now, just buy and enjoy what you like and just roll with whatever prices are happening if you feel like buying right now. If you feel like, see, the interesting thing is if you're selling to thin your car herd, great. If you're selling to buy something else, understand that you're going to have to play your cards very carefully and buy something that's on the swing down right now, which usually means buying something from the early 2000s if you're trying to flip. If you're just buying something fun, don't worry about it. Think with your dick and you'll have a fun time. Do you think prices will keep going up on 2012? No, they won't. Because it's interesting that 2012 stuff is going up, but they're going up right now. Everything, like if you follow the 25-year, 30-year peak, it's like right now we're in the 90s. That's where the established peak is. The dip right now is late 2000s, early 2010s. We're seeing the beginnings of nostalgia now, and then we'll move deep into nostalgia by the time, I don't know, we get toward the end of the 20s, the 2020s.
Quick question from Russell Zauner. People are building their own electric cars. They want them so bad. And the technology is very available and very cheap compared to the first episode of Mr. Rogers. No lie, first episode, electric car.
Sweet.
So not a question, more of a comment. Because you can
buy motors that just hook to either the transmission or some directly to the drive shaft of like old classic cars.
Yeah.
That is what I think is going to really improve like those old boomer tech stuff, is just ditching the IC engine completely and just
Yeah.
putting an electric drive line in. I'd help buy another Falcon just to have that.
Yeah.
Fill that thing up with batteries. Hell yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure my comment will age like milk in the sense of like people not or being resistant to electric cars over the next 20 years, because it's going to be something that is going to happen whether certain people want them to or not.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of like, I don't trust that we're going to get a move on with getting the infrastructure in place to make it viable to a point where like suddenly we're all electric all the time. It's just, the United States, it's not often thought of. Well, I don't know that it's not often thought of as a place of considerable land mass, but if you think about the sheer land mass of this place, like it would just be such an astronomical.
Yeah, we're slightly bigger or slightly smaller than Australia. I think the lower 48. I think Australia is bigger, has more like square miles. Like, well, if you don't count Alaska.
Yeah, Alaska.
Alaska is this. Oh, right, Alaska.
Enormous.
Gosh. So, I think like, yeah, I was watching a Technology Connections video on those old hurricane lanterns.
Yeah.
And why are they shaped like this? So he went into this whole thing, but he had this interesting point that these lanterns, they were only, when they were made, they were already obsolete, because in the cities, people already had like coal gas and gas lines in. So you know how like at the end of Sister Carrie, there was mention like, well, it's how Hershworth kills himself.
Yeah.
He just turns on the gas light and then blows the light out and then just fills his, So, and that was like, those lights, those hurricane lanterns were something like mid 1800s or maybe late 1800s. And Sister Carrie, I think, begins 1897, because I think I had this in one of my papers for Vogel, where there was a mention of the Sears catalog. So this first Sears catalog was 1897 or something like that. So that is the earliest that novel could have began.
Well, it was published in 1900, if I remember correctly.
Right.
So,
and they were also when there was the bit with the bums waiting for bread outside of like the church or a baker. One of them says a war would be good for this country. So it has to happen between 1900 and before First World War.
Well, isn't the Spanish-American War like take place between like in there somewhere?
Yeah,
but
so it had been then, as well.
Yeah, around that time. Yeah. Man, there's so much to discover on rereads of that novel. Yeah. It's like that needs to be the next like non-car thing that we review for this channel, like just Sister Carrie.
Yeah,
just a 4-minute video being like, here's the story of this girl.
This is the ultimate B-side novel.
Yeah.
Living in the shadow of Mark Twain.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the point that I'm trying to make is that these hurricane lanterns are, yes, they don't blow out. They were a good light source, but they only were really applicable in places where gaslighting wasn't available. So, which meant the frontier, outside cities and farms.
Yeah.
And they even were still in use as the electrification began. I mean, and this house is an example of that. Where people who are watching this on video, this house was built in 1877. So this house exists before the electrification of this town. This house originally, I mean, if we turn this around, there are hot water pipes that run externally up the walls. They don't run in the walls. So, and there's some wiring in this house that's still knob and tube, very, very early wiring. You have knob and tube wiring. You go, hey, grab that wire and grab something metal. You'll have a fun time. But knob tube wiring is really safe. It's old. Well, yeah. It's also wiring that exists outside of the walls. So anyway, So like the electrification of modern society, things happened in tandem that you still have old technology being a necessity where an infrastructure doesn't exist to support the new stuff. So are we going to all electric? I doubt it within our lifetime. Like the catapults on a nuclear carrier are still steam driven
Yeah.
because that's the best thing to use. So as far as like standards, like the standards of transportation and industry standards, hang on because, well, people are kind of short-sighted. I mean, think about working on a car in America. You have both, you need two sets of tools
Yeah.
because odds are there's both metric and SAE on the same car, which is dumb. Man, I'll tell you what, people in Australia, New Zealand, UK, I think UK still has like some standardized stuff, but, or standardized, what am I talking about? SAE stuff. Man, it'd be so nice to just have one toolbox, not to have two.
Yeah.
2 sets of tools. We ought to get the sign now.
Oh, sign, everybody sign.
Everybody doing that with an Australian accent. Fall Faller says, "What things do you need from a trip fixer? I'm in Portland and can help out with Pacific Northwest." Thank you. Things we need out of a fixer: be able to navigate the town, understand where the good and bad parts are, how to navigate during rush hour. But the thing is that it's really a cost thing, waiting on Frederick Knudsen, because that's like a free place to stay and a couch and stuff. So,
and I think the most important part of a fixer
is picking us up from the airport.
Well, picking us up from the airport, but also
because now, like, who knows what? Like, are we going to get lifts? What's it going to be like at airports? You know?
Even what it's that for the duration of it, they have to have nothing else going on.
Yeah, that's another
like,
thing. Fred's another
hard.
YouTuber and can just help us out.
Yeah.
Now, granted, he works a lot, but he also has a freaking Highlander, which we already proved is a good camera car. So that's like 2 things: pick us up from the airport, let us sleep on your couch, and have some sort of SUV we can film from.
Yeah.
Or van. Parker Smith says, "Finally caught another stream, and the first thing I heard was Nick talking about real dolls. Glad to see you guys live. Grab a coffee on me." Thank you, Parker.
Thank you.
Garrett Green says, "Did you get discouraged when the Falcon was at yes? For an extent, I had no idea that such a simple engine swap would be that hard. That's why we didn't edit that stuff down. I mean, I thought I edited the Falcon build heavily, but it still had like 20 different episodes to it. Like, you fix one thing, you make one thing fit, and now the next thing doesn't fit.
Yeah,
it's not like what it's like. It's tough. My C4 is at the 3rd shop trying to resolve an air conditioning issue. It's been there for 2 weeks. Yep.
Yeah.
3rd shop, and they can't fix the AC. I mean, when it comes to a Corvette, you need a place that works on Corvettes. So you need to walk around, look around, find a place, and you have one of the, like, you have the C4, which was like the great leap forward for Corvettes. And I like the way they look. That's about it.
Yeah.
My answer to you is, hey, if it's a T-top, fuck your air conditioning. But at the same time, just take the T-top off. But at the same time, now I have a small sports car with a lot of glass. That's the thing. People don't realize how much glass is in those Corvettes. That huge back glass. Yeah, that's a greenhouse. Man, if the AC didn't work in my Sarah, whew, that'd be rough. My window motor is broken on the driver's side on the Forester. So I get to fix that. Thankfully, Rock Auto came through with a sponsorship, so there's free parts sitting, and that video is probably going up here rather than polluting the main channel with just, here's how you fix a window motor in a Subaru, as opposed to all the other videos that says, here's how you fix the window motor. But I'm going to make it funny. So that's something I get to do later, is to just figure out the hardest part is just figuring out how the door card comes out of that car and not breaking anything when I take it off.
This person talks about Russell Zahner says, or Zauner, airports are just brawling now. Don't fly unless you are ready to restrain the other passengers. You won't get a nap for sure. For some reason, everyone wants to fight on a plane now, which makes me think of like that thing that happened at the cafe today. That guy was talking about how like, people are getting rowdy on the plane because they're drinking before they get on the flight.
Hmm.
And also it's kind of like this buildup of tension that's being released from being cooped up for so long. I would imagine that's something to it. But I don't know. You mentioned like the whole other thing that they do now.
Yeah, which we won't discuss.
Yeah, but it's
The
interesting,
secret way they kick people off planes that no one knows that someone's getting kicked off.
which is really interesting to me. And it makes me wonder to what extent, you know, being on an airplane is something that people have sort of forgotten how to do.
Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah.
like how travel work, because they are having to adjust to being in a situation that you've almost conditioned yourself not to be in for a longer time than
Yeah.
anticipated. And so like I'm going to be flying again for the first time at the end of next month when I go to my brother's wedding. And honestly, like I don't plan on doing anything differently, but I can't speak for everyone else around me. And that's
Yeah.
a strange feeling because I've always felt relatively safe on our flights. Well, I don't expect anyone's going to act crazy or be stupid, but it feels like now all bets are off because people are now beginning to be released back into the population.
Yeah.
It's like everyone's getting out of jail at the same time.
Yeah.
And so, or getting out of the supermax at the same time. And now, you're reintegrating into society. And for some people, it's a more natural reintegration than for others.
Yeah.
And I know for some people, nothing's changed at all. But I mean, I know
Yeah. My
for,
flight to Atlanta was fine.
yeah,
Apart from just keeping the mask on the whole time. Of course, I'm cheating because where was I? I was up front.
yeah,
So, and now that's just more incentive for me to just stay up front. Uh, uh, and to say to the crew, hey, I'm up front. I'm wearing a tie. I'm wearing smart glasses. You know, I'm not the problem.
yeah,
That's them.
yeah.
I got to blow my nose.
Although it's like, I am always, not always, but frequently enough, randomly selected for additional screening. It's happened at least twice, possibly three times. I can't recall, but it's always funny to me because I try to do the whole like look respectable thing too. And, at a certain point, you're thinking, like, well, it is random. So, there's only so much you can really do in terms of presenting yourself a certain way. But I like to draw as little attention to myself as possible. And I feel like I succeed in that because I don't think I'm inherently worthy of notice from TSA officials, except for the fact that, like, I can't remember any time I've gone through a scanner where something didn't go off. So that's just whatever. But yeah, I don't know. The travel, it's weird because I've gotten so used to like not being around people outside of like work and family that there are friends that I haven't seen in like over a year that are wanting to like hang out now. And I almost don't know what I'm going to talk about other than what I've been doing over the past year. And I don't think it's that interesting ultimately because yes, I've driven a lot of nice cars, but it's like anything you would want to know about me, I've talked about on the internet. So I'm not a very, uh, I'm an open book. And now granted, like it's different when you're speaking with friends and everything, but it's also something where it feels strange to suddenly be back in those old places again that we were in, but with friends and catching up and realizing like I don't know what to say. I literally don't
Yeah.
know. It's just I feel like I'm back in high school and I'm on a date with like a pretty girl, even if it's like one of my dude friends. And you're looking for conversations about things, and suddenly
Ooh.
you find yourself discussing the weather, like the literal weather, and because you've run out of important topics. And I mean, I guess like as long as everybody has a good time, it's fine. But it's going to take a while for me to remember what it's like to actually be around people in a normal setting, because a lot of the time, social anxiety takes the form of a loss of perspicacity. Like, you don't know necessarily what it is you should say or how you should act or what's the right or clever thing. But is that one gumdrop? Oh, I thought you had a thing with just one single gumdrop.
Yes, lick that. This comes from Nush at Moyer's Car Care. Maybe you had so much coffee it actually doesn't work on you.
Yeah, I
They're
think so.
sour. They're supposed to be sour, like really, really sour.
These taste like these little
How are you not phased by that?
I don't know.
Nush gave me, is that a yellow one? You
Yeah.
put the whole thing in your mouth? Oh my freaking God. Nush, are you watching this?
Mm.
Nush, you better be watching this. He put the whole goddamn thing in his mouth.
Oh, there it is. Ooh. Well, I mean, I'm keeping this, but
Really? Yeah.
Mm.
I can't do it. It's so sour. But literally, you're just sucking on it.
There it is. Yeah.
But holy shit.
That's intense. Yeah. This thing, it's like, I don't know.
He has the weirdest stuff at Nush. Nush is a guy over at Moyer's Car Care. That's one of the garages I go to. And often I just go there, get gas, and talk to Nush for a while. And he's like a hot sauce aficionado and like strange foods.
Yeah.
So he's also buying, stuff to pass the time, weird stuff. Hey, put this in your mouth.
Yeah.
And so
he shaved off the little bit of that like that chocolate that was like super whatever pepper. And it was like I was getting face fucked by Satan. Like, it was just really hot.
Man, I can't believe you got the whole thing in your mouth.
Okay, now that one, I think it's because
maybe there was a coating of dust.
I let it settle. Yeah, I think there was like a coating that was protecting me for a bit.
No. It's kind of like a hot gobstopper. Like, it's actually very cold in your mouth. It's crazy that some people use science to just make like the worst tasting thing you can.
Oh, wait.
Oh my God. Oh, the pleasure of the pain. I think we should wrap this up because go text these through hikers.
You see if they're even like close to ready yet.
Yeah. Who am I picking up first? Picking up someone in Port Clinton.
Yeah, it's a coating. It's not the candy itself.
Really?
Yeah. But now I'm in the sweet department.
Oh, are you? So maybe if I washed it, well, that's cheating if you wash it off.
I took a drink of water because it was like really sour and but I forgot to take the thing out of my mouth first. So I guess I just washed a lot of the sour away. So I guess I cheated, but still, now I have a nice sweet treat.
I am finished working and can come pick you up early if you want. See if they text back. If not, I'm just leaving in 15 minutes anyway.
Yeah.
What am I guess. What is today? Say Wednesday. No, it is Thursday.
Yeah.
So we got to film Friday and we film Saturday.
Yep.
So between these 2 days, I get the notes from you, and then I got to record on probably Saturday night, and then Sunday morning edit audio, and then get back to video editing Monday, Tuesday. I've been getting into this thing now where no matter how long the video is, I will get it done in 2 days. Like, I'll just cut it in half. Before, I used to only edit, like in the very beginning, like early RCR, like pre-Roman, I was only skilled enough to edit 1 minute of video a day. And I thought, that's insane.
Yeah.
That's why all the videos were only 5 minutes, because I could only edit a minute. Of course, I was also working during the day.
Yeah.
So I'd come home and look, oh my God, I got to edit 1 minute. This is insane. And then pretty soon I got good. Well, maybe I can do 2 minutes. Why am I going to do 3 minutes? And then for a long time, I was editing 4 minutes a day. So however the long which would usually mean I'd finish by like Thursday or Friday. Now I'm so fast at editing, I will get it done. I will just chop the video in half, and however long that is, that's how much I have to edit. So sometimes I'm staring down the barrel of 7 minutes to edit in one day. And I'm still getting done by like 1 p.m. Like I'm starting at 9 and finishing at 1. And I usually kind of just have like, a Hobbit breakfast, breakfast and second breakfast. And that just sort of gets me through the day, mixed with coffee, mixed with, a blueberry muffin, mixed with a protein shake. And when I'm done, I'm usually pretty ramped up. And after that, I'll usually either do laundry. Like if I'm smart, I take all my editing energy that I built up and just immediately go to the gym. And that usually turns into a pretty productive day if I go to the gym right after doing editing, but usually I don't do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so they didn't text back.
Mm.
So if they don't text back in like 4 minutes, then I'll just wrap this up and finish. Reject monitors, something Galant VR4. I already did that. Some prime driven car.
Yeah. It's weird. It's so gorgeous out, but I don't feel like doing anything.
Yeah, I just feel like being outside in it.
Yeah.
I feel like just hanging out at the pavilion.
Absolutely.
And picking this person up. How many takes for your voice? How many takes for your voiceovers? 0. Now, of course, I'll make mistakes and I'll have to redo bits, but it's all one gigantic session in the little recording booth I made upstairs.
And then you go
That's why I have one day of audio editing just to cut all that down. Drive an MR2 with a 2GR in it. Interesting. I gotta sneeze.
Live your truth. Bless you. ×2.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like ultimately, I always feel like every time I get on mic or either of us gets on mic that there should be more to talk about. Just in terms of things going on, there's really not. Sometimes
so we got that thing maybe with Joe Matera. Maybe we could do the 100th podcast.
Yeah, from there. Yeah,
he said it'd be fine. I don't know if we. Maybe we could get away with. I think. No, we'd probably just bring the mixer anyway.
Probably
instead of just doing a test run just with the Zoom H4. Well, of course, we would need a different. Yeah, we'd have to put that camera on a mic on a tripod or something.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, the 100th podcast, content-wise, I don't think it would be that substantially different from like just a normal one.
I wonder if we would have our audio muted because they play licensed music in the background. But again, these things aren't monetized. Even though we're getting super chats, there's no monetization for these videos.
Yeah.
So who knows? Well, we'll find out. Either it gets muted or it doesn't.
Yeah.
I guess that's it.
Yeah. That's all we got.
That's all we got.
We just wanted to get it to a good, listenable, length. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for the super chats and your fine questions. A little bit of the sourness is coming back on this. Thanks to the super chats and the Patreon, you allow us to exist as a much larger channel than we actually are. So thank you so much. And I hope you all have a great rest of your week and weekend and Father's Day and all the things that are worth doing. I'm Nick.
I'm Brian.
And have a good everything. I don't know how to talk.
Yeah, well, enjoy the Monday video. We'll see you then.
See you then.
Bye.
Bye.